Okay, you unmuted me, then I muted my own mic because we're both able to do it. So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, welcome. I am Oscar's Wolf today. I am tired Wolf also because it is. I woke up at like 7 a.m. today to get ready for this. So I'm not an early riser, so I did this for you guys, and but we're here to finally react to the Oscar nominations. It was the most nerve-wracking breakfast I think I've ever had. I was kind of having an anxiety attack while eating my oatmeal this morning, but that's just I'm excited, but I'm also nervous as hell. Let's see how this thing goes. I'm here to join in on this reaction, guys, but I will not be staying. I will have to bounce out to go to work as soon as the nominations are over. So that's why Tristan's running today, and Tristan and Ross will stay behind, and they'll like talk about, you know, the noms that they want, like all the noms that happened and all that stuff, and they'll have time to be able to discuss that and break it down for you guys. But yeah, I'm excited for my esteemed panel of specialists. Malcolm texted me this morning, wanted to come on here, so thank you, Malcolm, for joining us.
It's all good. Yeah, like some people woke up for this. I just haven't gone to bed. It's like 2 in the morning for me. It's like I finished work about 11. So you know what? I'm not going to bed. I need to see the Oscar nominations live. I always do. So
yeah, I mean, I almost kind of wish it could be at 2 in the morning because at least I'm used to staying up that late when it because I'm a night owl, but I'm never an early riser, so I'm just like hate that. And then of course, thank you, Tristan, for being here and running the stream and helping out on that front. So
of course, I'm so excited. I've been sweating. Like I tried to go to bed early, but I just like couldn't sleep. You know, I kept waking up. I had nightmares about Madam Web showing up at the Oscars. You know, I don't know what's going on. So we'll see what happens today.
Madam Web, Best Picture. Let's go.
Oh God.
Let's go. It's but unfortunately, it's not eligible, which is stupid rule, and stupid that movie, which is like peak, is not eligible. But
it should be in every category, really.
Exactly. And then of course, thank you, Ross, for joining it again as always. We always do this every year, and I'm very looking forward to it.
And you're complaining about you having to get up early. It's 5:30 in the morning here, so
That's
yeah,
terrible.
Oh God,
and that's why Tristan that's why Wolf had actually asked me before to join the BAFTA reaction. Like, oh, I can't because what time is it for you, Mike? There with the BAFTAs.
The BAFTAs is like at 7:30 a.m. something like that, or so. Yeah, or 7.
So that's why I'm like,
Yeah, because that would be like
4:30.
4:30. Yeah, it should be.
It's going to be a fun one. It's been such a chaotic awards season that I'm excited for today because it's going to finally give us like a solid direction, I think. You know, like there's no more like, oh, what's going to happen? Who's going to get in? We're going to know like who the front runners are now. We're going to know like who the real contenders are. Who are the ones that just kind of snuck in? Who are the ones that are going to be leading that charge?
Yeah, unless they like completely blow us for a loop and like do something hugely surprising, and next thing this isn't going to happen, but next thing you know, like Kieran Culkin's name is announced and we're going to be like, what the actual fuck, or like we'll freak out. Like
there's always something, you know. It's not going to be as easy as everyone thinks. Every year there's something crazy.
Yeah, like what if his name is called but lead actor? Because remember, like remember like Katrina Balfe, what was supposed to be in every single, she got in everywhere, but then in Gaga too, remember?
Yeah, I remember that. I definitely am expecting some surprises here. Like I wish I was up as late as you, going in the awards expert app and trying to change out all my stuff, but I didn't, because like now looking back at our predictions, I think there's a good chance that one of the men miss, like Edward Berger or something, and you get both the international women in there, like Coralie Farge and Payal Kapadia or something like that. Or for director, and you could get like, you know, instead of Daniel Craig and Queer, which we predicted, you could get like Sebastian Stan now in The Apprentice, because it's like such an international voting body now. The Oscars has a lot of international voters, and so those movies are very much so in the international wheelhouse. So yeah.
And apparently too, though, Mike, there's gonna be no acting clips this year either.
Oh, and Rachel Sennett is gonna be announcing them. Oh my god. Don't judge me if I get naked on stream here and do something.
Oh, good. Don't get us shut down.
No.
All right, let's go live and see where we're at. Oscars is refreshing the screen right now. We might be here.
Yeah.
I think it's time.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Yeah, I've been taking care of this field for 20 years.
Here we go again.
And for 20 years, I've asked myself the same question.
Turning these captions off.
A minute.
We got 1:15 going.
Nice.
Oh boy, now my heart's racing.
I said
Now it feels real.
this is like Christmas, but also like, you know, that Christmas feeling where you've asked what you wanted and you wake up in the morning, you're so happy it's Christmas time, and you're like, yes, all the presents, and you're like, oh man, I really hope they gave me that Nintendo Switch I wanted. I really asked for it. Let's hope I get that Nintendo Switch. And it's like in there, and you're hoping that's the Nintendo Switch, and you don't want to open your presents and just have it end up being socks and underwear.
And you walk downstairs and you're like, those are a lot of boxes. I don't see a Nintendo Switch shaped box. What am I getting today? You know?
Yeah. Well, those kind of things.
Yeah, when I was going for my gold review before I went to work, I spent a lot of time deciding which Sebastian Stan I wanted in my 5 for best actor. I ended up settling on The Apprentice, but
yeah, but I do think the Globe win for A Different Man could also help. Like, we might underestimate that, and that might sneak in there. That would be cool.
Well, I mean, the other thing is, like, with him having 2 movies like being up there, like, he just completely splits and just misses out completely.
Yeah, that's also a possibility we mentioned, is that like he could split votes because of that.
Live from Beverly Hills,
Oh my God.
California. Please
Here we go.
welcome the president and
Oh, I
the
thought they were about to say
CEO of
live from the Academy Awards.
Science, Janet Yang and Bill Kramer.
Right.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us for the 97th Oscars nominations announcement. On behalf of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, I want to welcome you and extend our deepest sympathies to everyone impacted by the fires here in Southern California.
This has certainly been a difficult time for Los Angeles, where many members of our film community, industry work and live. But the last several weeks have proven what we already know to be true. Our film industry and Los Angeles are resilient. And for almost a century, the Oscars have brought us together to unite and celebrate our global film community.
During this year's ceremony, we will honor the talented filmmakers nominated today, pay tribute to our brave first responders, and celebrate the enduring spirit of Los Angeles and the film industry.
And now, without further delay, to announce this year's Academy Award nominees, please welcome Rachel Sennett and Bowen Yang.
We're going for that.
He was like full
young
on
audience.
Good morning, everyone. Hello. What an honor it is to be with you today.
Me and Bowen are wide awake. We have been up since 10 p.m. and between us, we've had 3 Diet Cokes, an entire pack of cigarettes, and 1 Adderall.
And you get to guess who had what.
Okay.
Don't worry, everyone. Rachel and I have
Smoke
been
cigarettes?
through
Okay.
extensive
That's a little bit
pronunciation
more of a
training
turn-off.
for all the names
Alright.
today. Let me try now. Wicked.
Just like
Amazing, Bowen. That was really good. Well, let's not keep people waiting any longer. Let's go.
Are we ready
Let's
for
do
some
it.
nominees?
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Catherine is killing it.
First,
So,
for best performance
Yes,
by
nice
an actor in
category
a
here.
supporting role.
Yep.
You're a Borisov in a Nora.
yep.
Yep.
Okay. Do that one.
Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain.
Yep. Get some
Yep.
Edward Norton in A Complete Unknown.
more.
Yep.
Guy Pearce in The Brutalist.
Yep.
And Jeremy Strong
Yep.
in The
5 for
Apprentice.
5.
There we go. That's a good category.
Yeah,
I'm
that's good.
Doing
Next,
good
the
so far.
nominees for
Happy to see
achievement
Jeremy
in
Strong.
costume design.
deserved it.
Man.
A Complete Unknown,
Told you. I
Oh,
told
yep.
you. I told you.
You
Conclave,
did.
I
Shit.
said that too. Did I?
Gladiator
You did, but
2,
we didn't predict it.
Well,
Nosferatu,
Mhm.
and Wicked.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Could have got all my categories there. Could have got all my picks.
Dang.
The nominees for achievement in makeup and hairstyling are A Different Man,
Oh, there we go. That's what
Oh,
I
yep.
put in.
Amelia
we go.
I
Parra,
picked that.
And
Yeah.
Amelia.
Nosferatu,
Amelia gets into. Oh, dang.
The Substance,
The winner.
and Wicked.
There we go.
But yeah, so
I'm surprised no Dune
Next
in
up,
either of
the
those
nominees for
categories.
achievement
Oh,
in
yeah,
music,
Dune is
original
what I was
score,
saying.
Amelia can't be stopped.
The Brutalist, Conclave,
No
Dune
challenger.
too.
Amelia Perez,
No
Oh yeah, no
challengers,
challengers.
man.
Oh fuck.
Wicked. and
Wicked.
The Wild Robot.
Oh, no.
Oh fucking hell! They did it.
No
Oh
challenges,
no.
but they go for Wicked.
Now this year's nominees for
They're
Best
gonna-
Live
they're-
Action
they're gonna-
Short Film,
Go all for it.
Alien,
So done.
Anuja, I'm Not a Robot,
I missed that
The
one.
Last Ranger,
I don't even remember what.
and The Man Who Would Not Remain Silent.
I
Many
went
such cases.
for
Yes,
Yes.
of course.
Okay. Okay, for best animated short film, the nominees are Beautiful Men.
Where?
Okay. In the Shadow of the Cypress. Magic Candies.
What the hell is that one? I missed that
Yeah.
one.
Wonder to Wonder. And Yuck by Charlie XCX.
Yuck.
Yuck, put it in. That's cool.
What a yuck list.
Wonderful. And now we have the first of the
That's a
two
great
award
category.
categories honoring writing. First, for adapted screenplay, the nominees are
Oh.
A Complete Unknown, screenplay by James
Yep.
Mangold and Jay Cox. Conclave, screenplay
Yeah.
by Peter Strawn. Emilia Perez, screenplay by Jacques Audiard,
Yeah.
collaboration with Thomas Bideguin, Liam Messius, and Nicolas Levesque.
Nickel Boys.
Thank you.
Nickel Boys.
Nickel
Nickel
Boys.
Boys.
Nickel Boys made it
Mel
in.
Ross
Nickel.
and Jocelyn
Oh my god,
Barnes.
what a relief.
And Sing Sing, screenplay by
Yes.
And
Sid
Sing
Bennett,
Sing.
Yeah.
Queeter,
That
story
is
by
a
That's a good
strong
sign for Sing
five.
Sing. That's a really good
Clarence
sign for Sing
Macklin,
Sing, I think.
John Devine G. Whitfield.
Oh, yeah.
And for original screenplay, the nominees are Honora, written by Sean Baker.
Congrats, John
The
Bacon.
Brutalist, written by Brady Corbet.
no
Mona
real
Fastfold.
pain.
A Real Pain,
There
written
we
by
go.
Jesse
Oh,
Eisenberg.
Yeah.
September 5,
September
written by
5.
Lawrence
Zero
Finder,
five, yeah.
God.
Kim
That's
Felbaum,
the fifth.
co-written by
pulled
Alex
that.
David,
And Challenger's not getting in anywhere
and
here.
The Substance.
Yeah.
At Harbor
Oh my
Freight,
god.
we do
Challengers
business
is gonna be
differently
What
from
are
the
we
other
doing
guys.
with ads?
We
in the middle
design
of
and
the
test our
awards?
own
Oh
tools.
my
And
god, seriously. Yeah, challenge is gonna get
Cool.
completely goose egged.
Are
Oh,
you
here we
guys
go.
ready?
This one's gonna be crazy.
Alright, I paused it for a second.
Monica Barbaro in A Complete Unknown.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
She makes it in.
Alright.
Ariana Grande in Wicked. Felicity Jones.
Oh, Felicity
Brutalist,
Jones makes it in. I did not expect
Isabella
that to happen.
Rossellini in Conclave. And Zoe Saldana in Amelia.
No Jamie Lee Curtis.
No Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yep.
That's a surprise.
What?
Wow, they went with the safer picks
Okay,
than I
wow.
did there.
What a start.
Wow.
Congratulations
Where
to
was
the
Felicity
Oscar
Jones?
nominees.
And hey,
Felicity
stick
Jones,
with
wow.
us.
Stick with
Felicity Jones, I
us.
did not
Back
expect.
with
I guess
more
people finished the Brutalist.
nominations.
What's up?
Yes.
Jeez. Yeah, that was
Frankly, if you Tristan, I cannot wait for you to watch The Brutalist because like Felicity Jones is incredible in it.
yeah.
I'm hoping to see it today. I was really debating about seeing it last night at like 9 p.m., but I said I can't do that. The
No.
nominees are in the morning. I'm not gonna get home till like 2 o'clock. I
Yeah.
can't do that.
Yeah, it's just that was kind of insane because Jamie Lee Curtis got in at both SAG and BAFTA, and yet she misses the Oscar, and Monica Barbaro only got in at the SAGs, and so I knew they'd go 4 to 5 on SAGs, but I did not know they were 2.
Yeah, I was
Very
4
cool.
for 5 on that one. I was betting on
I-
Jamie Lee Curtis. I'm
I was betting
shocked
on
she doesn't
Jamie
get in there.
Yeah.
Like, I thought she had it. She had the momentum going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was still kind of holding out hope for Danielle Deadwise to maybe sneak in there.
Yeah, it's just I really wish that could have happened because her performance is so good. But yeah, Daniel Deadweiler, she just 2 years in a row now. She gave maybe some of the best performances I've seen this year. Because Till and then this, and it's like, and she just doesn't get nominated for either one, and it's just.
I mean, and I wasn't a big fan of Dune, but I'm completely surprised of where it's being left out.
I think it's I think it's the early release date. I think March. I think that release date schedule, like the first Dune, it got in all these places. It released in October, and so it was like in that fall season with all the other Oscar contenders, and like they had it fresh in their minds. But so many other Oscar contenders have come out, and since Dune.
I mean, it's one of those ones like it could also be just a case of the other ones just being that strong that Dune just hit like even if Dune came out close to time, I don't know if it is, and maybe it's just a case of the Oscars just not thinking that that it's not too different from the first Dune, and they've not really done anything different with the costume and makeup and all that. So I think that
Dune might...
maybe that because I mean they denied it from score for that reason. So.
I think Dune might be struggling too with the fact that there's a third movie looming, and you look at like Lord of the Rings, Two Towers didn't get much, but Return of the King did. So I wonder if like they're holding off for Dune 3, which is not necessarily like a third part of a trilogy, but it's kind of being pitched that way by the studio and by Denis as like the finale to his version of Dune. So I feel like maybe it's going to miss that way. And yeah, I think just the fact that it came out so long ago and this was a movie a year full of contenders, I think that just hurt it.
But also like Dune Messiah, I'm worried about because I don't think like I haven't read the book, but I've heard the context and content of the book, and I think that even if executed well, it's still going to be a very divisive film because of what happens in Dune Messiah. So,
at what point do we start worrying about Dune showing up in a picture? Because it's already missing some categories.
I think it's.
But also, I was pleasantly surprised but happy to see Rickerton's score though.
Yeah, I was very surprised by that because it's like basically just the music from the play, and that honestly kind of pisses me off because they didn't want to nominate Dune for the eligibility rules of the 20%, but like there's more than 20% of the original.
The thing is that there's a different rule for adaptations. I think it's like 60% or something like that. So
Wicked is well within the limits. I think with the songs are from the thing, but I think the score itself is.
And we're back live. Before we continue, I just want to say it's really special to be here with Rachel. We both got our start in the New York alt comedy scene.
Yeah, we go way back. For those of you who don't know, the alt comedy scene is sort of like regular comedy, but for women and gay people. And I just want to say it makes so much sense that Bowen and I are like doing this now at this moment in our careers. Bowen's such a huge star in SNL.
This is like the audition tape right now.
And Rachel is Fatima.
Rachel is due for a huge breaking role. She's been in a lot of indie darlings, but she needs
so
like
anyways,
a huge
the nominees
role,
for Achievement in Music, Original Song are...
Here's my category, boys.
Amal from Amelia Perez.
Stacking them
The
up.
Journey from the 688.
Yep.
Like a Bird from Sing Sing.
Like a Bird.
Oh, yeah, I almost
from Amelia
wanted this.
Perez. And Never Too Late from Elton John. Never Too Late.
Yeah,
there we go. I told you that was coming.
You
guys should listen to me. You guys should listen to me.
You should listen to Tristan. Fuck.
And now the nominees for Best Documentary Feature Film.
I didn't expect double in the
Black Box Diaries. No Other Land.
Yep.
Porcelain War.
Porcelain War. I did not expect that
Soundtrack
one.
to a Coup d'etat. And Sugarcane.
Okay,
it was on my radar, but it was not in my mind.
They love the Ukraine doc.
Next, for Best Documentary Short Film, the nominees are...
No celebrity ones.
Death by Numbers.
I was kind of expecting Will and Harper.
I Am Ready, Warden.
Of course, the Will and Harper song missed too. But...
Incident.
Yeah.
Instruments of a Beating Heart. And The Only Girl in the Orchestra.
Did Kiss the Sky miss the original song?
I don't. Serious stuff.
Yeah.
Serious stuff.
Yeah. Not in there.
For Best
Jeez, how do you-
International
okay.
Feature Film, the nominees are I'm Still Here, Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming.
The Girl with the Needle, Denmark.
Girl with the Needle makes it in.
Oh,
Denmark.
wow. Okay.
Amelia Perez, France.
International branch, so it's fucked up shit.
Seed of the Sacred Fig, Germany.
Uh-huh.
And Flow, Latvia.
Flow,
I
God.
told you guys, Flow could happen. I told y'all.
And for Best Animated Feature Film,
Doesn't
here
matter
are
if
the
it's wordless.
nominees.
Oh, this is yep.
Flow,
Yeah.
I think Flow's winning now.
Inside Out
Yeah.
2,
Yeah. Wild Robot, massively
Memoir of a
underperformed.
Snail,
So
Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul,
Imagine something crazy happens right now. They nominate like
and
Moana.
The Wild Robot.
No.
yeah, it's the 5 that is predicted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy category.
Easy category.
Here are the nominees for Achievement in Production Design. The Brutalist.
Mm-hmm.
Conclave.
Yeah, that one. Yep.
Conclave made it in.
Dune Part 2.
Dune stays in.
Dune stays in. Okay, cool.
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu. Yep.
And Wicked.
And
5 for
Wicked.
5, baby.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next up for Achievement in Film Editing, the
This
nominees
is a big
are
one.
Honora,
Oh, yeah.
The Brutalist,
Mm-hmm.
Conclave,
Oh, wow. Gets in. Yeah.
Conclave.
Amelia Perez, and
Amelia.
Wicked.
God, I
Yeah.
should have bad
Oh.
challengers. I would have had that category.
And for
Yeah.
Achievement in Sound, here are the nominees. A Complete Unknown. Dune
Yep.
Part 2.
Yep.
Amelia Perez.
Baby.
Wicked.
Yep.
And The Wild Robot.
Wild Robot.
Wow.
That's a good pick.
Okay.
Next
Maybe
are the nominees
both
for
perform.
Achievement in Visual Effects.
What the hell?
Alien
song.
Romulus,
Whoa!
Alien Romulus.
I
makes it
told
in.
you guys. I told y'all.
God, I should have listened to you.
Dune Part
Yep.
2,
Better Man got in.
And Better
Kingdom
Man
of the
gets in.
Planet
too.
of the Apes.
Oh, wow.
No
and Wicked.
Gladiator.
Yeah. No Gladiator.
Green monkey movie.
A lot of monkeys in those films, I just realized.
Oh,
For Achievement in Cinematography, the nominees are
Oh, I was
The
doing so well.
Brutalist.
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, get it in.
Dune Part 2.
Yes.
Amelia Perez.
Amelia.
Uh-huh.
Maria.
Oh, boy.
Maria makes it in. I knew it.
Wow.
Nosferatu.
I
And
should've
Nosferatu.
predicted Maria. Yeah. I'm never going to underestimate now.
For
and
performance
another
by
one
an
of these
actor
films
in a
is
leading
cinematography.
role, the nominees are Adrian Brody in The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet in A Complete Unknown,
Mhm.
Coleman Domingo in Sing Sing,
Mhm.
Rafe Fiennes in Conclave,
4. All right.
Yeah.
and Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's
There
do
we
it.
go.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
underdog of the year.
For performance
it
by
in.
an actress in a leading role, the nominees are
Hear that.
Cynthia Erivo in
Ah,
Wicked,
what a relief. I was scared about that one.
Carla Sofia Gascon in Amelia Perez, Mikey Madison in Honora, Demi Moore in The Substance, and Fernanda Torres.
Oh,
There we
yes.
go.
There we go.
She gets in. Yes. Yes. My God. I knew it. Oh.
For achievement in directing, the nominees are Sean Baker, Honora,
Mm-hmm.
Brady Corbet, The Brutalist,
Mm-hmm.
James Mangold, A Complete
Wow.
Unknown,
Wow.
Whoa. Whoa.
Jacques Audiard, Amelia Perez,
Who's missing?
and Coralie
Oh.
Farjah, The Substance.
Ooh, that's a spicy one.
Edward Berger did
Okay,
miss.
Burger
y'all, for our
missed.
Final
Our
category.
Miss, I
final
told you that's
category,
happening.
I cannot wait. I feel like we should
Mm.
read
Picked the
them
wrong
together.
I
movie,
feel
though.
like we should.
Okay,
Yeah.
here are the 10 nominees for Best Motion Picture of the Year.
Here they
Here
are.
we
Oh,
go.
no. Let's do it.
Honora,
Okay.
Alex Coco, Samantha Kwan, and Sean Baker, producers.
Boom.
Yeah.
Nora
The
Mickey.
Brutalist. Nominees to be determined.
Oh,
A Complete Unknown, Fred Berger, James Mangold, and Alex Heineman, producers.
Mhm. Conclave, Tessa Ross,
the
Juliette
Brutalist.
Howell,
They're gonna
and
nominate
Michael
the AI
A.
company.
Jackman, producers.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Dune Part 2, Mary Parent, Caleb Boyder, Tanya
Playing it
Lapointe,
safe
and
so
Denis
far.
Villeneuve,
Dune kept it in.
producers.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy so far.
Amelia Perez,
We're just waiting on
nominees to
that.
be determined.
Amelia.
Wait,
Producers.
you missed.
What?
I'm still here.
Real pain.
Nominees to be determined.
I'm
Guys,
still here.
I'm
No!
still here for picture.
No!
Look at that. Oh my god.
Nickel Boys, nominees to be
and
determined.
Nickel Boys.
got a mic.
Ace
Yay.
Oscars.
The substance. Nominees to be determined.
And Wicked, Mark Platt, producer.
Wow! No
Look
sense.
at that.
Oh my god! Whoa!
That's a lineup.
Congratulations.
That is a
All
lineup
of
right
us here
there.
nominated.
Oh.
It's such a privilege to share the news with you and movie fans
I
around
really
the
thought about I'm still
world.
here
We
for
are
picture. I
rooting
wish
for
I
you
would have
all
went with
in
it,
equal
but
amounts.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good
Watch
pick.
the Oscars
Oh
live.
shit!
with
Will it
Mike
win
Ryan on
international? Because
Sunday,
now
March
there's
2nd
two
at
Best
7
Picture
p.m.
winner.
Eastern,
Oh,
4 p.m.
oh my
Pacific,
god, is it gonna
ABC
upset
and
Amelia
Hulu.
Perez? That would be
Cannot wait to
spicy.
celebrate with you.
We're gonna party.
That would be insane.
That would be a real base pick right there.
There's two,
Oscars
man.
are trying to save their image right here.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh
Wow,
man.
no real pain in picture.
No real pain. I had it in. No September 5. No Sing Sing. It's kind of
That's
oh.
Challengers completely shut out.
Nickel Boys and I'm Still Here. Damn, what a good lineup. Oh man. Okay. Y'all continue to have a great time talking about this and break this down.
Hey, Mike.
I gotta get ready for work.
I'm still here on the screener or no?
No, it's not, unfortunately. But but yeah, it is a really good film. So whenever y'all have the chance to see it, I don't think it opens wide until February though, which like sucks. But once y'all do get to see it though, y'all have to let me know what you think, because it's an incredible film. But yeah, y'all continue to talk about it. But there's so much I do want to talk about, and we'll get to that soon once I'm able to. But man, this is crazy, guys.
There were some definitely surprises. I mean, I'm going through nominations here. Support actor, supporting role was basically the 5 we all expected. Jeremy Strong made it in. We weren't 100% sure about him, but that was not a surprise. I don't know why my screen is not scrolling with you guys here, but actress in the supporting role was when we had our first somewhat surprise at Monica Barbaro. She was somewhat leading the charge because she had the momentum in some of the shows, but she was definitely not ahead of Jamie Lee Curtis in the predictions. No Margaret Qualley, no Anjanou Ellis Taylor, no Selena Gomez. Felicity Jones did make it in though. What are you guys feeling about actress in a supporting role? Any thoughts on that one?
I mean, it was surprising, but it wasn't, at the same time. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to do my own, although I did actually end up predicting Jamie Lee Curtis to miss. And I had in it, but even then, like, it's one of those ones like I kind of went in my heart a little bit when I was doing my predictions and hoping for Margaret Qualley to get into supporting, but it is what it is.
Costume design. People underestimate a complete unknown in this category, but it has that historical biopic edge, and Bob Dylan has very iconic looks and fashion, and I think that was a big part of the decision here. We got Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. One of the few times Gladiator 2 and Nosferatu showed up here, but Gladiator 2 especially underperformed, I think, here. But what are you guys feeling about costume design?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones like there's like so many historical movies. I think it was just one of those ones like it was strong for historical ones because like Blitz could have snuck in, but I mean, I'll still manage to get like 3 out of the 5. But it's just one of those ones like it was kind of a hard to predict category, to be honest.
Yeah, I was wondering about Dune because there's so many iconic costumes in Dune, and they added a lot of new costumes to part 2 with the new Harkonnens and everything like that. So I was kind of surprised to see Dune miss, but Gladiator 2 making it in, I was happy to see because I did like the costume designs of Gladiator 2. I think Gladiator 2 looked good, so I'm glad to see it get some stuff. But yeah, Nosferatu, I'm especially happy to see get in here. I was pulling for Nosferatu in picture, but I think that was a crazy decision looking back on it. Makeup and hairstyling, I was happy to see Different Man make it. Amelia Perez, I told you guys would make it from the transformation they did in there. I think that transformation alone sells it. Same with Different Man. Those are both like super transformative things. Same as Nosferatu, same as Substance. They went for transformative stuff in every single choice here for makeup and hairstyling, and Wicked. But Wicked was not as transformative. They just, made it green. What
Well,
do you guys-
it's one of those ones. Like I've always had the argument that like, because there's a few people I know is like I have with like makeup and focus it all on one person. But I think with Wicked, like it's not just Alphabet. I think it was just it like all the like makeup that in hairstyles they did in that movie. I think was what kind of tipped over the line. And yeah, like while I was a little bit surprised that Dune didn't make it, I'm not too unhappy with what did make it. And it's one of those ones like I wasn't too familiar with Amelia Perez, like it's not on Netflix in New Zealand yet, so I haven't had a chance to see it.
Mhm.
And it was just one of those ones like I didn't think it was a makeup type movie, but then again, I haven't seen it, so I don't know too much about it either. So
There's one bit of makeup in it. There's one bit of makeup in it.
And as usual, it seems like like I said, they're going for like the most makeup, not necessarily like in the most of the movie, but like just the most visually like obvious makeup, monster
yeah,
stuff. Original score, we had The Brutalist, Conclave, Amelia Perez, Wicked, and Wild Robot. Wicked is the biggest surprise here. People were debating about if it's going to be like missed because it's not technically original enough, but like I think if it's in there, they're going to nominate it. Like if Dune Part 2 was in there, people would have voted for it, and they wouldn't have been like, oh well, technically it's repetitive of the first one. Like the only reason Dune missed is because it was not eligible, right? And I think Wicked,
yeah.
because it's a huge contender for Best Picture, and people love the Wicked, so yeah, of course it made it in.
Well, I mean, it's one of those ones like Dune Part 2 was like eliminated before the shortlist was done. Like it wasn't like a Better Man situation in which that was knocked off the shortlist early on because of the song. And it's one of those ones like, well, I personally didn't predict Wicked. I'm happy to see it in here as well because, as I said, like it's one of those ones like with the songs. I think the songs are pretty much from the movie, but I think the actual score that they have sort of in the non-singing parts, I think, is largely original. So I think that's how it kind of made it in because of that. But I don't.
Yeah, and I mentioned it a little bit in the show, but the rules are different between sequels and adaptations. So the standard is a lot higher for sequels. So the fact that Wicked does repeat some music from the Broadway show doesn't disqualify it comparatively to Dune because
Yeah.
the standard is different. I'm sad to see Challengers miss though. That was such a vibrant and like energizing score that gave so much life to that movie, and people remember the movie because of that score. So I really thought Challengers, if it was going to sneak in anywhere at all today, would have snuck in here, and it snuck in nowhere.
Yeah, I thought either score or song, because I mean the song was getting a lot of love in other places as well. So
yeah, and I thought Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross, they tend to be very beloved, so I thought they would be able to sneak in, but no Challengers. Definitely the biggest bummer of the night, I would say.
yeah.
All right, adapted screenplay, Complete Unknown made it in, Conclave, Amelia Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing stays afloat in adapted screenplay.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that category for you guys?
I'm just happy that I'm just happy even though that like Clarence Macklin missed out of supporting actor, he's still an Oscar nominee.
That's true. He's gonna get in for his contribution to the script on Sing Sing at least.
Yeah. It's one of those ones like I was a little bit surprised that Wicked didn't make it in here, but then again, there's always like it's got another part to come, so maybe it's going to get in for.
Yeah, I predicted Wicked here, but I think what might have cost Wicked is the fact that is very much like literally the Broadway show. You know, they changed some stuff around. It's not like exactly specifically the Broadway show, but if you're unfamiliar with the Broadway show or you're just like casually familiar with it, you're gonna say, "Oh, it's not adapted at all. They just took the show and made it a movie." Like, I guess that might have disqualified it in some people's brains.
I mean, it's one of those things like yes and no, because I think, and like, because I think there's been cases with especially with books as well, like that there's been books which they haven't changed a lot in the books that they've still nominated in adapted screenplay. So I don't think it's too. It's one of those ones. I think, like with Wicked specifically, they did stuff in the musical which that is from the book as well. So to flesh it out a little bit is.
Yeah, I was happy to see Nickel Boys staying in here. That was when I started thinking maybe it would be alive in picture, because if it didn't get here, it would definitely have been dead up in picture. But yeah, I think Conclave is certainly going to run away with this one. This category feels pretty determined to me because Conclave is such a tight script, and it's, you know, a strong adaptation of the book too.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those ones like I don't know too much what to think, because with all the love a complete unknown is getting, I think that could be a surprise as well. So
Original screenplay, we had Honora, The Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5, and The Substance. Not a ton of shocks here. I was happy to see September 5 and The Substance both get in because they seem like they were somewhat on the line here. Bummed that Once Again See Challengers miss, but happy to see what we got. This is a pretty solid category, I think.
yeah,
Any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I think this was probably Honora's or the. I think it's a three-way race between Honora, The Brutalist, and A Real Pain.
Yeah, those are the leading contenders. I thought Hard Chase might make it in because of Mike Lee's history with the Academy, but it's a new Academy, and I think that's a sign, you know, that things have changed with the Academy. Mike Lee's reign was a long time ago, and now it's a much larger, much different voting body. So I don't think you can go with necessarily like the easy precedents all the time anymore.
Well,
No,
I mean,
but he's really good. You know, like he should be getting more love though too. You know, I feel like he almost doesn't get the love he deserves a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
well, I mean, it's that, and but I think it's also probably one of those ones like there's a lot of good original movies this year that it was just a hard category in general for anything, because for all we know, like Challenges and Hard Truths, they were like just outside, like as at 6 and 7. So
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
one of those ones we'll never know.
Also, too, you got to think about with Hard Truths though. Do you know what company produced, distributed it, or no?
Not off the top of my head.
Bleecker Street.
Oh, that'll hurt it. Yep. They struggle with that kind of stuff. Any more thoughts on screenplay, or do you guys want to move on to the acting categories?
Acting categories.
Actor in a leading role: Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet, Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes for Conclave, and Sebastian Stan make it in for The Apprentice. I think this was our 5 on the predictions episode as well. This is pretty. Once it came down to the day, this was not a hard category to predict. Sebastian Stan, I think, just hit at the right moment and was really buzzing at the right time. So yeah, this is a somewhat easy 5. I know people were hoping for Daniel Craig and Queer, but I just think that movie is not very approachable for most people, and its peak hit earlier comparatively to Sebastian Stan. I think The Different Man win helped him significantly here and put him in the headlines. And I also think the election and the constant conversation around the president helped this movie too.
Yeah. And it's one of those ones because like I know Donald Trump himself was telling people not to go see The Apprentice, but which I'm pretty sure would have backfired on him. But it's just one of those ones like, because I think the fact the nominations was extended a little bit as well because of the fires pushing the nominations back, that might have helped The Apprentice that a little bit more.
Any other thoughts? I'm thinking Adrian Brody or Timothy Chalamet are obviously the front runners for this category. I'm probably gonna bet on Chalamet. I think maybe the AI conversation may hold back Brody, but I also think that Complete Unknown is just a bit more like a poppy movie, and I think that might be what pulls Timothy Chalamet over, like the typical kind of like transformed into a historical character kind of thing, you know. So I'm feeling Timothy, but Adrian Brody is right at his heels.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones like I think this AI conversation is a little bit stupid, especially for Bruce. I haven't seen the Red List yet, so I don't know too much about it. But I think it's one of those ones like, as the director said, like just because they use AI for the accents, it doesn't mean they weren't acting their ass off in the movie. So I think that's a whole stupid thing.
Yeah, I think people always overreact to this backlash that happens. Like every single year when something starts to become the front runner, all of a sudden there's like this moral fallacy that pops up about it. Like Amelia Perez suddenly is like this terrible movie that everybody hates because it was a front runner. And then when Brutalist becomes a front runner, suddenly these AI stories pop up and all these accusations of other things pop up. And there's always backlash against the front runner, whether that's manufactured by opposing studios or whether that's just like people tend to naturally want to take down the people on the top. You know,
I mean, with Amelia Pierce, I think there's been backlash on it ever since like people knew about it. I think the whole like topic around it is like it's one of those ones. I think it's just a complete controversial move. I'm still yet to see it because once again, for whatever reason, I think it's different distributors of here because it's actually in theaters for me. It's actually not on Netflix yet. So.
And Ross, you've seen The Brutalist, so how are you feeling about Adrian Brody making it in? Do you think he's going to win?
I think he actually has a real chance. Is because like you've seen the trailers now, right? You know, like with him crying, he has like 4 to 5 crying scenes, and like like he does. Literally, there are scenes where like he literally like has a 5-minute monologue, but it's only 30 seconds because you know what he's talking about just by his eyes.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I'm going to see it in the next day or two. It's obviously a long movie, hard to work it into my life schedule, but I'm going to see it before the Oscars, of course.
But talking about like leaks on that, I think a very big upset could be if Sebastian Stan sort of comes from nowhere and ends up winning it, especially if Adrian Brody and Timothy Chalamet end up splitting the votes and like Sebastian Stan just comes walking between them.
We've got a couple of live comments coming through. I want to bring up a couple here. Billy Judd tells us that he thinks Ted Danson should be the Tin Man in Wicked Part 2.
We'll see.
We've also got a comment from Billy Judd saying, Mufasa the Lion King should have won because of Mads Mikkelsen's villain song. I don't know about that one, Billy, but I appreciate your enthusiasm for Mufasa. Didn't show up anywhere, I don't think.
No.
I thought maybe for visual effects it might sneak in, but people are over those kind of things.
Honestly, it's probably the only one that would have shown up in anything.
Ari, a friend of the show, says, Amelia Perez Nation, let's go. I'm with you, Ari. Amelia Perez did pretty well today. Made it in for a couple of categories people were doubting it on. So I'm feeling pretty good. Actress in a leading role is where we're at now. Cynthia Erivo stays around on Wicked. People were doubting Cynthia Erivo. You can't doubt her. She's giving a lot in that movie. She's the heart and the soul and the energy of that movie. She's not Margot Robbie and Barbie. She's giving significantly more than Margot was. Not that Margot was bad in that movie at all, but Cynthia is giving a huge award-contending performance, you know, crying and singing and screaming and manipulating her face and all those things. So, yeah, the doubters were just Wicked haters that didn't want to see Wicked make it in and were trying to downplay it in a lot of its categories. But
well, I mean, it's weird because I don't think I ever saw anyone doubting it. It was like everyone that I was kind of seeing when doing their predictions had like Demi, Mikey, Cynthia, and even Carla in that 5. It's just that 5th one no one ever seemed to agree on.
Carla Sofia Gascon makes it in for Amelia Perez. Mikey Madison, of course, makes it in for Honora. Demi Moore for The Substance. And Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here. Fernanda Torres is, I guess, the surprise here, but she won Golden Globe Actress for Drama. And there's like essentially only been 2 times in the entire history of the Golden Globes that the person who won that category didn't make it in at the Oscars. And they were kind of like technicalities anyway. So she kept up that precedent. I would have been kind of surprised if she didn't make it in because she's buzzing all the right time, and especially the movie. We know the Academy loved the movie now because it made it in for picture, which was probably the biggest surprise of the entire nominations. But how are you guys feeling about actress in a leading role?
It's a good category, like I and plus like I think probably Demi Moore has this almost in the bag. I think honestly,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on sort of, because once again, like, we don't really know this academy too, like, especially before these new people, like, because we don't know if they're going to go off the career Oscar that they'll normally go and give
Mhm.
to me, or they'll go for the young up and comer in Mikey. Because I still think Mikey has a shot.
We got another comment from Billy related to Cynthia saying, I think you might see Cynthia Erivo melt as the Wicked Witch in Wicked Part 2, because in the opening of Wicked 1, we see her hat after her death. I think you can definitely expect to see it align with a lot of the events in The Wizard of Oz. Of course, if you've seen the Broadway show or read the book, you know generally how the events are going to play out. I'm not going to spoil anything for you here, but look, I mean, you've seen Wizard of Oz. It's like 100 years old at this point. Like, you know how the story plays out on that side. So I'm really excited to see Part 2, but yeah, Cynthia Erivo making it in is a very is a good pick for her. I would have been bummed to see her miss, because she did a lot for this movie and she was like really putting in the work, campaigning, going to all the events, interviewing like crazy.
Yeah.
Animated feature film is the next category here. We got a comment from our own channel here, Mega Movies, saying Fernanda Torres could win now. The international brand still loves I'm Still Here, and she did win Actress of the Globes just like Demi Moore. Yeah, I think honestly, like, she's easily number 3 for me, if not 2. I think Mikey Madison, she's so incredible in that movie. It's sad to see her not being like the one that runs away with it, but I wonder if Honora has a bit of that long-term frontrunner syndrome where she's been in the conversation for so long. People are kind of looking for like a new name to put out there. Fernanda Torres could be that new name. She just hit at the right moment, and people are gonna see I'm Still Here, get picked for picture, and be like, "What the hell? I gotta watch that movie." And I think she really could upset and be the winner.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones, like, Mike Madison is still quite young, so it's like, and the nomination will definitely help you maybe get some like better roles, like sort of break out with more stuff. So she's got more chance.
Yeah, I think if you're looking at this as a voter, you might think like, okay, Cynthia Erivo, she has Part 2 coming out. Maybe we'll give her the win for that one. Carla Sofia Gascon, she is great in Amelia Perez, but we're going to give Amelia Perez a lot of wins today. Let's not give it everything. Mikey Madison, breaking actress. She's going to be around a while. Demi Moore, maybe the nomination is the win for her, and this kind of like reviving her career and her political image that way is going to be what her win is. And then maybe you go for Fernanda Torres. I think, like I've talked about it, I think on this stream before, and that I think being the front runner that ends up not winning is usually better for your career than being the one who ends up winning. So if Demi Moore ends up being the one who wins all season and then ends up missing the Oscar, that ultimately is going to be better for her career. I feel like when you look at the way actress winners and actor winners go, than if she won. So we'll see how it goes. Fernanda Torres, Demi Moore, I think are the top 2 right now for me, but Mikey Madison is certainly in there. Animated feature film. We had Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, and The Wild Robot. No surprises here. I was wondering if like something might sneak in somewhere, but no surprises here.
No.
After the further appearance of Flow, though, and the underperformance of Wild Robot in terms of like original song and that kind of stuff, I'm wondering if Flow takes the win.
Yeah, it should.
Cinematography, I'm just going to move past animation. There's not a lot to talk about in that category. That's a pretty set category. Cinematography, we've got The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, Maria getting its lone nomination for cinematography, and Nosferatu. People are saying Maria's a surprise, but I don't think it was. I mean, he's won a lot of times. I mean, he hasn't won a lot of times. He's gotten in a lot of times, even for stuff like Alcande that showed up nowhere and nobody watched. All of a sudden, just like shows up here. And Maria's a gorgeous movie. It has some black and white sequences that the Academy loves, black and white. So I'm not surprised to see it make it in. I think if you watch Maria, you're blown away by how it looks. And I felt the same way about Alcande. Like nobody watched Alcande, sure, but when you watch it, like 5 minutes in, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I understand cinematography. Of course, it's a gorgeous movie. And I felt the same way about Maria. I watched it, and a handful of minutes in on Netflix, I was like, oh, I definitely feel like this one's making it in. It's a gorgeous movie, stunning. And if you're doing your research and you're watching the contenders, it's absolutely worthy of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones. I think people considering Maria as a prize, because it just seemed like it was kind of dead in the water, like during the awards season, because I don't think no one really expected it to sort of pop up. So
Yeah, you know, like no conclave though. No conclave for cinematography.
I'm not super surprised. It's not an extremely showy movie, you know.
Yeah, but remember though, Trial of Chicago 7 got it for cinematography though.
Billy Judd pushing back at Flo's nomination, saying Flo had no dialogue. Okay. I mean, is that in regards to its nomination for non-English language film? I feel like the fact that it's from another country is what qualifies it, right? It's not the fact that it's literally, and it's still not in English because there's no dialogue, you know? But
yeah,
it's a deserving nomination. It's a beautiful film, so I'm happy to see it make it in. We got a comment here from our own channel, Mega Movies, commenting on his own stream. I said how Flo could still get an international with no dialogue. It is profoundly moving without words, and it blows you away. Wild Robot getting sound is crazy, but I still think Flo wins. I think Flo has the benefit of the narrative that animation is the universal language, right? You don't even need dialogue to tell a story and to move you emotionally. All you need is beautiful animation and the art of animation. So I think, yeah, especially because Flo also overperformed. I think Flo is still a very strong leading. It's still probably going to upset Wild Robot. Even though Wild Robot is the leader, I think Flo is going to upset.
I actually don't think that Wild Robot's the leader anymore because, you know, like everyone is talking about Flo and how it won the Golden Globe, and I think that Flo is the front runner now.
Yeah, I'm kind of a fussy. I'd argue that Flo is probably the front runner, but it's once again, if last year was anything to go by because of the Globes, they're all thinking of like, oh yeah, Spyverse is going to win animated, then Born Hearing comes out of nowhere, so maybe Wild Robots picks up some momentum once voting starts. And
I think Wild Robot's biggest benefit is that it has a big studio that's going to shovel money at it and pull up Brinks trucks to everyone and try and make that movie happen. So I think, but I'm still feeling Flo. I think Flo is just too much of a buzzy movie, too much of a unique movie to not get it in.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones where like both Flo and Wild Robot have the advantage of being double nominated. So
big category right now, Best Director. We had Sean Baker make it in for Nora, Brady Corbet for The Brutalist, James Mangold surprising everybody by making it for Complete Unknown, Jacques Audiard for Amelia Perez, and Carolee Farge for The Substance. Of course, the biggest surprise here is Mangold. He did make it into a previous award show, but people were not really having him on the radar. Denny missed. People were assuming Denny would miss, but it's a bummer to see him miss, especially when that movie is such a meticulously well put together film. And I feel like Denny's almost like cursed or something. Is Denny cursed or is Dune cursed? I don't know. But James Mangold for a competently made biopic that's not super showy, but is just solid. Complete Unknown, and Complete Unknown overperformed. I think the Academy really loves Complete Unknown, and it's higher on the Best Picture winner predictions than people are thinking it is. I don't think it's going to win, but it's among the potential like upsetters. I think when you see this nomination.
Yeah, I mean, was James Mangold nominated for Ford v Ferrari or Walk the Line, or was this his first nomination?
I can't remember. Ross would probably know that better of the awards history of James Mangold if he's been nominated previously for director or not. But
I think
I'm not
it's his
sure.
first nomination. I'm pretty sure it's his first nomination in director.
I am very impressed by Complete Unknown's performance here. I think if you're looking to predict an outside shot for picture, that's going to be your outside shot. And especially, I think that's a good sign for Calumet and for Complete Unknown and other categories as well. You know, like sound and everything.
But fun fact, Amelia Pugh, I mean, obviously, you probably realize this now. Amelia Pugh has the most nominations at the moment with 13.
Yeah, Amelia Perez has been doing super well in terms of leading nominations at like almost every show, you know, and people underestimate it, and then it just keeps doing well, you know.
And
what are you gonna do?
Riddler's and Rickett are tied for second with 10.
No All We Imagine Is Light here, kind of a bummer. No Nickel Boys here, also kind of a bummer. Those were ones people were trying to get in there, voting with their heart in a lot of ways for both of those. All We Imagine Is Light didn't show up at all, so I'm kind of bummed about that.
Yeah.
Documentary feature: Black Box Diaries, No Other Land, Porcelain War, soundtrack to Coup d'etat, and Sugarcane. The only one in here that was not like among the top 5 most predicted was Porcelain War. And Porcelain War was like in the top few, you know. So it was on the radar, but that was kind of a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, I don't follow documentaries at all, but the only one I'm kind of surprised about was I thought it might have made it in what would have been Will and Harper because, like, well, yeah, the typical celebrity documentaries normally get missed out. I thought Will and Harper was different in the fact that it wasn't a typical like celebrity biopic. About Will Ferrell was more him talking about his friend and that, and so I thought because of that it might have snuck in, but
yeah, I was thinking about it too because of the subject matter and everything, but the documentary branch being kind of a highbrow, seriously minded group still holds. You know, people were saying, "Oh, are they going to not want to nominate darker movies because it's a darker time to be alive?" Or, you know, in Hollywood, but no, they nominated some dark stuff. They still did. We got comments here from a viewer Yasi who says a few things here. He says he's rooting for Flo. I'm also rooting for Flo. Really hope we're both right here, Yasi. And he also says soundtrack to Coup d'etat. He's excited to see soundtrack make it in. I'm also excited to see that one make it in. Archive footage documentaries don't tend to make it in, but similar to Summer of Soul, I think this had the context of a political nature, so that probably helped it in. Billy Judd says the Wild Robot should have won because of Pedro Pascal rocked as Fink. Wild Robot's a great movie. I'm really happy that it's doing so well. If Flo wasn't out this year, I would be campaigning for Wild Robot really hard because it's a gorgeous film. I'm going to skip the short film and just go to film editing.
Oh yeah, to like, okay, I know that this won't happen. Let's say that both the nominations, you know, acting nominations for A Complete Unknown win. Do you know how many acting wins total in his career James Mangold will lead actors to? 4.
That's great. He's quietly, like, people don't talk about Mangold as being like one of those true like journeyman directors that we still have working today. You know, he'll make a great biopic and he'll make a great superhero movie, and then, you know, he can do whatever. He kind of like transcends genres in a lot of ways that filmmakers don't tend to. Yasti says documentary category this year are brand new. I was expecting Daughters to get I also had Daughters on my list. So I missed on Daughters, but it's kind of a bummer. So Daughters is a great one. If you haven't seen Daughters, check it out. It's on Netflix. It's about father-daughter dance in a prison. So you get to see these men who've been separated from their families for so long, spend time with their daughter's precious family time and bonding over like the art of dancing, and you see all these different lifestyles coming together, and also the tragedy of knowing that this is only temporary, right? The daughters are gonna have to go back to their normal lives, and the dads are gonna have to go back to their normal lives in prison. So I love Daughters, so check out Daughters if you haven't seen it. Sad it didn't make it in this year.
Yeah. And actually, just quickly on James Mangold, he's now officially got an actor and had now officially got an actor in every of all the 4 acting categories because he hadn't had one for supporting actor before Ed Norton. So
In editing, we had Honora, The Brutalist, Amelia Perez, and Wicked. Didn't really think Wicked would make it on here. I was hoping
No,
for challengers
I'm
once
happy
again,
that
but the Academy did not like challengers.
I'm happy that The Brutalist got in here. I didn't think it would, but yeah, I was freaking,
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Honora
just
was
crazy.
an obvious one. I thought Dune Part 2 would make it in here. Conclave is a good pick. Amelia
Yeah.
Perez, of course, it's been doing well, but yeah, I thought Dune would make it in. I wasn't sure through my 5th slot, but I was not feeling Wicked, so that was a surprise. No challengers is a bummer. No substance is a bummer. No September 5. Those are the ones I had on my radar. None of them made it in. Complete Unknown I had on the outside, didn't make it in. International feature. I'm Still Here. Best Picture nominee. The Girl with the Needle. Amelia Perez, also a Best Picture nominee. Seed of the Sacred Fig. And Flow. How are you guys feeling about international feature?
I mean,
um,
I didn't think The Girl with the Needle would get in. I thought that'd be too dark for the Academy.
Yeah, I had the same thought, but the mindset of like, oh, they're not going to nominate dark stuff. Everybody seemed to be having that in the last couple of weeks, and then it didn't really pay off at all. Like all of the stuff that was predicted that was dark still made it in. I don't think that people really overestimated how much that was going to affect the voting here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't follow international film that much, but somehow I managed to guess my way to all 5.
Yasti says, in foreign language, he's rooting for a Sacred Fig, but it'll definitely go to Amelia Perez.
I don't know about that.
I said that until today, and I'm wondering about I'm Still Here. I think I'm still going to predict
Yeah.
Amelia Perez, but I'm Still Here has a lot of buzz, and the Best Picture nomination is going to give it a lot more.
What about, though, Flow also?
Flow could be an upset, but I don't think Flow is going to win here. I think Flow is going to win animation, but I think the fact that it's silent rather is going to hurt international voters. Even if it doesn't technically disqualify, people are going to be like, Flow, that's not an international feature. There's no dialogue in that.
Well, I mean, it is an international feature. It's made by like
Yeah,
it's one of those ones. Like,
but who knows how people's brains work,
But I mean, it's one of those ones like, especially if they love Amelia Perez as much as we think they do, I could see I'm Still Here win international with Amelia Perez winning Best Picture. I think that is a possibility.
Ravi and Sarana say it would be super cool to see Flow win animated film, but they think it's going to go with Wild Robot. Wild Robot has been leading the charge all year and winning a lot of categories, and like I mentioned, it has a lot of big studio money behind it. So Wild Robot, I think, is definitely a safe bet still. The Flow buzz is going hard, but Wild Robot, you can't underestimate that movie yet. Ravi also says if Wild Robot wins animated feature, it would be perfect because both Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon get live action remakes. They say I'm going for Wild Robot, but still could be Flow. Could be flow. Yeah, I'm not sure where I'm gonna go with that category. I'm gonna have to think on that one for a few hours before I make my predictions here. As he said, his best actor going to two-time Holocaust survivor Adrian Brody. It seems like it is. Original song, El Mal from Amelia Perez. We also got Mi Camino from Amelia Perez. The double nomination. Daughters Can Cry About It. Amelia Perez. Staying Alive. The Journey, of course, from 6888. She does not miss. No one can bet against her. I thought for a second I was going to bet against her, but no. She will outlive us all. She'll be getting Oscar nominations 100 years from now. She won't even be alive, and they'll be nominating her. So she's staying in forever. Never Too Late from Elton John. What are we saying?
Yeah. Oh, I was about to say, it also helped that, like, with when the 688 was released as well, because I think releasing at the end of the year, like, may have helped it a little bit too. Like, I think, because I think there's probably going to be a year where we're going to guess Diane Warren to get nominated, and then she's going to end up missing. I will say, like, I didn't expect a double Amelia Perez. I thought one of them was going to miss, but
yeah, a lot of people did. A lot of people bet against one or the other, but they both make it again a lot, and I'm happy I bet on both of them. I'm more into Amelia Perez than a lot of people are, so I'm happy to see it doing well. But that's certainly, I feel like, the big villain of the season right now.
Yeah.
So.
And it's looking at what was nominated. I'm honestly, like, not too surprised that they decided that they're going to not perform the original songs this year, because I think there's not really that big, like, I'm Just Ken type one that will lend itself to a big performance. Honestly,
It would have been fun to see Selena Gomez up there. It would have been great to see Elton John up there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But those are the ones I'm really missing. I'm happy to see, like, a bird make it in for Sing Sing. I bet against that when I went with Harper and We'll Go West, but I was a mistake on my end. They like Sing Sing more than I thought they did. Of course, I want to mention here that Wild Robot missed. People were thinking that was going to make it in, but Like a Bird stole its spot here. I'm not too sad, though, because honestly, that song in Wild Robot is, like, my least favorite part of the movie. So I'm not too bummed that I missed.
Yeah.
Yassi's chiming in saying cinematography between Nosferatu and The Brutalist. What do you guys think?
I mean, well, I haven't seen Nosferatu yet.
Nosferatu is a gorgeous movie.
I mean, I haven't seen either of them, to be honest.
For the first 5 seconds of the movie, I go, "Yep, this is a cinematography. It could win."
The Brutalist is definitely a big contender, though. Beautiful film and a very, like, filmic kind of thing, you know. So I think the fact that it's this highbrow kind of, like, real man's film kind of thing is gonna be good for it in a lot of these tech categories. We got a comment saying, "I wish the Academy would stop nominating Elton." Well, thankfully he's retired now, so they're probably not gonna nominate him anymore. Maybe he'll get, like, a final run in there somewhere, but this will probably be the last time you see Elton John.
Well, here's the thing: he might have stopped performing, but it's not going to stop him from writing songs for other people. And
that is true. He's not going to perform, but he'll still be making music. So yeah, he's probably going to be popping up here and there.
Because even if he, like, writes a song that gets nominated for best original, he's still going to be nominated because he wrote it. So.
Yes, he says, "Okay, I just want original screenplay to go to Winora Sean Baker. He is the new American New Realist." Yes, he's definitely drawing from that Italian neorealism vibe. There's huge neorealist elements in Winora. So I think his screenplay is great. It's a very screenplay movie too. It's like they're constantly talking. There's dialogue every second, and, like, it goes to so many places you wouldn't expect it to go to. So to me, the screenplay is really the spine of that movie, and it's such a chaotic film that the spine is what keeps it together, right? So I think the screenplay is got to win. Production design. Did we go over this one yet? I don't believe so. The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. This is a stat category. It's honestly going to be difficult to predict this one. I think it's going to be Brutalist just because Brutalist is more of the front runner than any of these other ones are. But these are awesome, gorgeously crafted movies. Like, you can complain about some of the color in Wicked, but you can't complain about like the huge sweeping sets, you know, building like thousands of flowers and stuff like that. They really went out of their way to.
Sorry, but Tristan, I gotta correct you on that, okay? Not thousands. They planted 9 million.
9 million. Yeah, this movie went above and beyond to make a production out of it. And so many musicals, even like last year, we had stuff like Mean Girls come out that was so like lazy. And I would not call Wicked lazy, especially in its production design. Like, they went out of their way to make this a worthy adaptation of a huge Broadway hit. So I think you can't write off Wicked as a sleeper here for the production design. They have so many great sets they can show off, and the campaigning over the next 3 months on Wicked is going to be really, really hard. So I can see it happening.
Also, too, you know, like, I just hope that, you know, like, I hope Brutus or Nosferatu or Wicked win, you know, and Conclave also. But
yeah, there's no movie in here that I don't want to see win. They're all have some great work. Yeah, she says, "Yay, thank you." Of course.
Yeah,
I'm feeling the same way.
I mean, it's one of those ones like, I was kind of surprised to see Gladiator 2 not get into production design, but then again, there's a lot of, like, once again, it was probably a stat category. There's a lot of great production design out there as well.
Nosferatu, I would love to see it win too. There's so many great like castles and crypts and like the decaying German cities and stuff like that. Beautiful, beautiful movie. Yeah, I see chimes in for production design. He says Conclave's production design is stunning. Those paintings. Oh, yeah, the paintings, the meticulous recreation of the Vatican. Really great production design. I'm wondering though if it's going to be underestimated. Like, people are going to see it and just think, oh, like they shot inside, they shot in like a building, but they're not going to recognize that like they meticulously rebuilt the Vatican rooms to the details, you know. And I'm hoping that Conclave is going to get the praise it deserves, because I'm not like a big fan of Conclave overall, but I think the production design is something that people are underestimating. Let's go on to sound here. Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. One of the bigger surprises we've had this morning. Maybe the biggest, to be honest with you. That was not on my radar at all.
Yeah. I mean, like, for me personally, one that should have been here, but it wasn't even on the short list, is Civil War. Because I think the sound in that was great.
Yep.
Yeah, I would love to see Civil War make it on, because there was just such a huge soundscape, and like the sound is so engaging in that movie. I made a error in judgment and sound that I ended up predicting Blitz. I thought Blitz might sneak in and get like its one little nomination here for sound. I don't know why I felt confident in Blitz for a second this morning. That was a mistake. But
yeah, and it's one of those ones, like, I also almost had Blitz in there, because like war movies generally do quite well in sound, but then I remembered that musicals and music movies tend to do quite well in it as well. So I ended up switching it out for Amelia Perez.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised we didn't get like a big
getting in, but
we got Doom Part 2. Yeah, we got Doom Part 2, but that was our only like big scale kind of action type of movie. I was wondering about Gladiator. I thought that might sneak in, but yeah, they didn't go for any kind of war movie type of thing this year. Oh, Dune, I guess, is a war movie. Visual effects, Alien Romulus sneaking it in. We talked about it a lot on our prediction show. I think we may have gone with it, but yeah, that was a surprise. I'm glad it made it in, though. I know Ross, I believe, is one who nominated it for our show yesterday. So what are you thinking, Ross?
I'm happy. Like this is actually a really good category. Like even though Better Man's not doing well, the effects are amazing. And like Alien Romulus, and like like I actually think that like like when people say Wicked's effects aren't that great, I actually think they are. So yeah.
Yeah, the effects are good in Wicked. I think the problem in Wicked is like the color correction. That's not necessarily visual effects, I guess, but I think Wicked looks pretty good in terms of the effects. Kingdom of Planet of the Apes, I'm glad made it in.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones with Wicked. I didn't have an issue with the color of it either. It's one of those ones like I think it still deserves to be in here, and it's one of those ones like as someone that actually really loves Better Man, probably the only person on the stream that really knows who Robbie Williams is.
Yeah.
I'm glad that he got some nominations.
I remember though, the first time I ever heard of Robbie Williams was like when I was a kid, and then like like how I was watching Nickelodeon and that Kids Bop came on, and they were showing images of the Robbie Williams Robbie Williams music video, but I forget what song. But yeah,
I really like Better Man. I was super impressed by it. So if you guys, nobody saw it. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. You might be surprised. But I literally did not know who Robbie Williams was, but I still really enjoyed the movie a lot. And the effects are mind-boggling at points. So I'm happy it made it in.
Yeah, I mean at this point, I think like a lot of people aren't going to Better Man for either because of the fact they put off that he's a monkey, which once again, like knowing who Robbie Williams is and know like how he sees himself, it makes a lot of sense to me, because like he's said in interviews that like he always sees himself as a performing monkey. So,
Yassi's got a comment here saying Conclave was snubbed for sound editing. He could hear Ralph Fiennes' sweats dripping. The use of silent and the environment echoes, it was so well done. The sound did a great job in Conclave of giving you a sense of space and place. Like he said, the environment, like the echoes of those old decrepit hallways, and these huge empty rooms filled with like 4 people where you can hear like their voices, the whispers, those little like hallway whispers that are just kind of like, it's funny almost because they're whispering, but yet it's like echoing. So it's like everyone can hear you, but it is funny. I really like Conclave sound. I'm warming up on Conclave. I might have to watch that one again.
Yeah, and then also too, like I remember being in the theater, and then like this isn't the nicest thing in the world, but still, the explosion is like one of the loudest things I remember I've ever heard. I mean, like it felt like it, it wasn't.
Yeah, I was like my heart stopped for a second there. Yeah, I see. He also says their friend is saying the Oscars got gladiator fatigue. I don't know about fatigue. That thing it was just like not really liked,
not good.
Like I like Denzel in it, and I like the effects, and it made it in for neither one of those things. Everything else I didn't like. So, what were you saying, Ross?
No, just about like I'm just about Gladiator 2. I'm just saying it's not really all that good. Not all that good either.
Yeah, if it was even just like a little bit better than it is, I think it would have been doing better here. But the fact that it's like I thought it was pretty bad, to be honest with you. Elements that I liked, but as a whole movie, I didn't like it. So that's probably what held it back. We've got one category left here, and it's the big category. So take a sip of water and get yourself ready because we got a lot to talk about for this. I'm just going to run down the names here, and then if you guys want to talk about any specific movies, let me know at the end. I'll cue somebody up here. Best Picture, the award of the night or the morning. We had Anora, The Brutalist, Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. Now, of course, the biggest surprise on the list here is I'm Still Here, but plenty of misses to talk about, and Nickel Boys getting in there is a pretty happy surprise. I'll start with you, Ross. How are you feeling about the Best Picture lineup? Anything that stands out to you here?
Just like I'm surprised that like there was a lot of big snubs in my opinion, but I cannot wait to watch I'm Still Here. But yeah, this is actually a really solid list. And then I don't know though how like Nickel Boys is really gonna do is because of the first person thing. I think you're either with that, and then like how much you like the movie is if you're with that or not.
Yeah, and I think the fact that it didn't show up in cinematography shows that they were not entirely with it. Like it made it in for Best Picture, but I don't think it's gonna win. It's the 10th slot, Malcolm, how are you feeling about this lineup?
I mean, it's one of those ones like, on the most part, a lot of them are the ones that I kind of predicted. Like, I'm Still Here was probably a big surprise, and it's one of those ones like, so I think there was probably 8 that were definitely getting in, and then you had like 4 or 5 movies like fighting for those last 2 spots. So I think, unfortunately, like the things like A Real Pain, Sing Sing, and stuff like that just ended up being just sitting on the outside there. So
I'm really happy that Nickel Boys made it in because, like I said, it was underperforming in a lot of other categories. So when it got to this category, I didn't really think it was gonna happen, and then it happened. Real Pain ended up missing. Always Imagine Is Light, September 5. Those were some ones that were on my radar. Didn't end up making it in. What else was on people's radars? Nosferatu slightly, I guess.
Yeah, Sing Sing.
Yep, Sing Sing definitely is a big miss. Although it was not on my list, it was starting to significantly lose steam. But I was kind of feeling it this morning, so it's a bummer to see it miss. Yes, he says, yes, explosion on Conclave. Yeah, that explosion was a shaker for sure. I don't know what the noise is. That's no window, but something's happening. Something's going down. Yes, he says Gladiator sketch on SNL was better. Gladiator the musical. Yeah, when I watched that Gladiator the musical thing on SNL, I was literally thinking like, I wish this was the movie because that would have been a lot more entertaining than what I watched. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
So I think the question now is, who's winning Best Picture? There's a couple of top contenders, some outside shots. I'm going to start with you, Malcolm. How are you feeling about the actual winner here? You want to throw out a prediction, or at least give me a couple headliners you think are going to happen?
Well, I mean, it's one of those ones like for me, it's tough because I haven't got around to all the movies. But like it's one of those ones like I want to see Anora end up winning because I think it is one of the best movies of the year. But it's one of those ones like it's looking like it might be The Brutalist or Amelia Perez because like they've got the momentum at the moment. But yeah, I honestly don't know anymore.
I think Anora has a really good shot. Amelia Perez was my prediction for the last few months. I'm thinking I might stick with that just for I don't know. I'm gonna have to look over these nominations for a little while. I think Anora, The Brutalist, Amelia Perez are certainly the top 3. I think I'm Still Here has got to be on the radar now, though. I think you got to watch out for that as a sleeper for picture. Ross, how are you feeling? Who's winning?
I think it's a three-way, really a three-way, 4-way race between Anora, The Brutalist, Amelia Perez, and Wicked.
Yeah, I think Wicked is certainly a sleeper. Not a sleeper, but like people are starting to move on to other movies. But you can't forget that Wicked's been the front runner for a while. People love Wicked. It's certainly like one of the biggest pop hits on this list. I would say even more so than Dune Part 2.
Well, I mean, it's one of those ones going by what got the most nominations. Like, Amelia Perez, The Brutalist, and Wicked are probably the 3 that definitely we know the Oscars love a lot. So,
those are the ones we know they love for sure. So those are the ones you should be watching out for. It's not always like that. Sometimes stuff can win with like only a handful of nominations. So it's not that straightforward. But you you never know where they're gonna go with that. But yeah, I think Honora, Brutalist, those are gonna be ones to watch out for. Yassi says that's why Academy should separate genre like the Globes.
I
I
don't like when the Globes do it.
I actually do kind of like when they split the item like that. I think more so just because it gives them a chance to nominate more stuff. I'm always for the idea of nominating as wide a net of movies as you possibly can nominate, you know? So I think when you extend the genres like that, it gives you a chance to nominate stuff that wouldn't really show up otherwise. But yeah, I don't know
then
about
you
the
know,
Oscars doing
Yeah.
it.
but then you question though, like, how is this a comedy really?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
You start getting in the pedantics of like genre and what isn't
I
in
mean-
a certain genre.
I mean, especially in this day and age, where there's so many of the comedies are comedies like Anora, in which it's on a very fine line between comedy and drama. It's like,
Yeah, we don't really get
Um,
like straightforward studio comedies like we would, you know?
yeah,
No, and then also too, also like, you know, like, speaking of that, like one nominee at this year's Golden Globes. How in the heck is Heretic a comedy or a musical?
Yeah, that's an interesting choice. Honestly, I feel like the Globe should split the genres even further and do like a horror thriller category or something like that. But
well, yeah. I mean, it's one of those ones like with the Globes, like them splitting the genres works better because they've got less categories in for movies and less for TV. So I think um, they've got more room to sort of breathe. With the Oscars, though, they've already got like 24 categories. So it's like, so splitting the categories will mean more categories and maybe a longer show, which people don't really
Mhm.
want.
yeah, the show's already very long.
Yeah,
Yasti comes in saying cinematography nom for Nickel Boys. That's a miss. I thought Nickel Boys was a very interestingly shot movie shot in a way I hadn't seen necessarily before. Like there's been first person movies before, but this was such a creatively shot movie. I think the ambition in the way it was shot was why I thought I might get the cinematography nom, because it was a unique way to film a movie. But clearly the uniqueness of it might have hurt it, you know, because I think that didn't vibe with everybody. People like Yasi and a lot of the Academy voters, like Jeff Snyder, the critic and writer, said he really hated Nickel Boys. So I feel like there's people out there who just, if you don't click with that first person, like Ross said, you're just not going to like it. And I think that hurt the movie a bit. But it still made it in. Movie fan Z, he says, I am bummed Lashana Lynch didn't get in for supporting actress, and Saturday Night did not get in for screenplay.
Well, they have no chance.
Yeah, I was predicting Saturday Night like a year ago, you know, and then when it came out, it made such a little tiny splash of nothing that, yeah, it didn't have a shot
I mean,
by the time it got here.
I mean, it's one of those ones like I don't know what movie Lashana Lynch should have been nominated for. I'm assuming I'm assuming he's been the Bob Marley movie, and like she was
Yeah.
good. She was good in it, but there was nothing really stand out about anyone's performance in that. But I mean, Saturday Night is one of those ones that I think could have been on the like very cusp of the categories. I think there could have been a chance that could have snuck into screenplay, but just the other ones were strong. So
Yeah, he says because they go for the classic theater meeting of comedy. Yeah, I think that's what you can't be so specific about genre. I think genre ebbs and flows. Genre is like made up, you know, and genre is self-assigned by the audience. So you can't have hard lines about genre. And like you said, the theatrical meaning of comedy includes tragedies, you know, and I think we can't forget that comedy is a wide definition.
I mean, the one thing I really hate about how Globe separates it is lumping the musicals in with comedies, because not all musicals are comedies. Well,
That's a weird combination, yeah. Movie fan also says, I wish a Greatest Night in Pop and documentary nomination. I enjoy Greatest Night in Pop. it gave me a lot of new looks at iconic people and a famous moment in pop culture history, something that I knew of and I'd seen the video of and knew the song, but to hear the breakdown of the story, if you don't know, it's a documentary about the recording of We Are the World and how they got all of those big names of recording artists together in one room at one time to record this song. So you get all these little anecdotes of, Bob Dylan was there at like the peak of when he was kind of creatively lost, and they're giving him guidance saying, "Oh, sing like Bob Dylan." And he says, "What does that sound like?" Because Bob Dylan at that point in his career doesn't know, what his sound even is. It's a fun little parallel to a complete unknown, because it's also Bob Dylan at a transition period, and We Are the World was a handful of years after that, but you can still get a good look at Bob Dylan and a lot of great recording artists in there. So for me, what held it back was that it was just a little bit traditional. It was very much just like, oh, isn't it crazy that this happened and we got these people here to do this thing? But I liked it. It's worth a watch on Netflix.
Well, I think the other thing about the Greatest Night of Pop is, once again, it's a celebrity documentary that people don't like.
Yeah, it's not the type of thing that Oscars go for.
Well, I mean, it's one of those ones like, it's at this point, I don't even remember the last time they even nominated a documentary about a celebrity.
Yes, he says horror is comedy too, based on the classic categorization. Yeah, you're also right about that. The Chenman as well saying, okay, Nickel Boys didn't campaign enough, and with the wildfires, they missed their chance. Yeah, I don't know what was happening with Nickel Boys. Like, they just didn't push it. Amazon really dropped the ball this year. Challengers and Nickel Boys. I guess they got Nickel Boys in, so good for them on that, but it's not going to win anything. And Challengers missing everything is just such a bad look on Amazon. I mean, big names in there, really, really. Zendaya is one of the most breaking celebrity actors right now. Like, I don't know how you missed that movie so hard.
Well, I mean, I've been with Challengers, I don't think it was a case of they weren't pushing it too hard. They might, for all we know, they may have been pushing it a lot, but I think it's just one of those ones. It came out early in the year, and it just, like that, people just forgot about it.
He says it's all about the private screenings when it gets to noms and wins. Yeah, you gotta have those like SAG screenings. You gotta have those event screenings around LA that make these nominations happen. And yeah, the LA wildfires hit at the worst time for those kind of things. I think Sing Sing would have helped from those kind of screenings too. September 5 is doing that right now in other parts of the country. So I think that hurt a lot of those outside shot movies that really would have been able to push in the last couple of weeks, and then didn't have a chance.
Well, actually, I think with the new rules they've got in place, they can't campaign while the nominations are happening. So they can only nominate sort of up to before the nominations start, and then so I don't think it's because of the fires. I think it was because the nominations were happening when the fires started, so they weren't having like public screenings anyway.
Billy Judd comes in with some sad news. LA fires made Billy Crystal and his family homeless. It's a big bummer. It's affecting so many people in the industry, and it's going to hang over the whole award season, especially the Oscars. It's going to put a down note on a lot of this stuff, and a lot of these people who are going to be here trying to celebrate their work are going to have it hanging over them that their house is gone, or like if it's not gone, it's in danger, and I think that's scary.
I know that this is for movies, but like Milo Ventimiglia, I think his daughter was born a week before the fires, and then he loses his home in the fire.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those ones that because I do love the Oscars. It's going to be awkward for them having it, because especially for like because even for non-celebrities, people are going to be like, well, the celebrities are celebrating their films and that they can't be too sad about their houses, which may have partially sort of led into them maybe taking out like the original songs being performed and wanted to go for a more somber affair anyway.
Mm-hmm. Because even though they're moving away from original songs, I think there's going to be a handful of like songs. You know, like I don't think it's gonna be all the original songs, but I think they're still gonna have like an in memoriam song. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of like element in the in memoriam regarding the fires too. Like, what are they going to include? People who have passed away in the fires. I know there's been like 50 people or something like that at this point have passed away in the LA fires.
I mean, it's one of those ones like because I do think part of the reason they may have taken out like the original song performances this year, we don't know if it's going to be a thing like going forward anyway. It could just be this year because they probably felt like one, there really wasn't any songs that kind of led to that they needed a really big showy performance for anyway. But two, maybe they want to extend something onto the memoriam or do like something about the fires or something like that. So
yeah, I could see the segments where these songs would have been could be little segments to highlight the elements of the LA fires or where you can support, where you can donate, things like that.
Yeah.
I could see them being like highlights, like personal stories of people who've been affected, things like that.
But yeah, because I think they plan on doing something like that for the Grammys as well. Because I think
Yassi is coming in, responding to my praise for The Greatest Night in Pop, saying, absolutely, Tristan, The Greatest Night in Pop was a beautiful documentary. When they sang the Harry Belafonte song, beautiful. Yeah, that was like one of the more moving moments in a movie this year, I feel. I really, really loved seeing that sequence, and I love that moment. So yeah, check out Greatest Night in Pop if you want to cry a little bit when they sing they're all falling apart, and then they kind of come together to sing this Harry Belafonte song together as a group, and it's this really moving, kind of unifying moment in the doc. Yassi also says, speaking of challengers, Luca, queer, nothing for queer. Yeah, Luca shut out this year. 2 movies, no nominations.
Yeah.
Bad look. That's just sad. James Bond snubs. Yep.
I mean, it's one of those ones. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those ones like, I don't think Queer's released in New Zealand yet anyway, but I think it's one of those ones I think it kind of just went under the radar. I think it's just one of those ones that just sort of came out too late because I think it sort of opened wide about December 13. So I think it just went under the radar and came out too late. Similar to the Iron Claw from last year, because I felt the Iron Claw was one that I thought should have been up for more awards than what it was, and that kind of missed out. But I think once again, it coming out as close as it did to the end of the year hurt it.
I think that what hurt Queer also is that it's kind of unapproachable. I really enjoyed Queer, but it's the most abrasive Luca movie, I feel, and unapproachable in a lot of ways. I think Daniel Craig's performance is a little bizarre too. Like, he's really going for it, and I think that can be kind of off-putting in the way that he's playing this like kind of grimy, like pathetic character. So I could see it being a somewhat off-putting performance for people. Yassi says, first COVID, then strikes, now these fires. These are not good days for the film industry. Please support and go to the theater. Feel the experience of watching a movie on the silver screen together. Yeah, I feel like that's a good note to end here. We just went through a whole bunch of great movies that came out last year. There's a bunch of great movies coming out this year. The theater right now is stacked full of movies. Movies that are on this list right now are in the theater. So if there's stuff you haven't seen yet on this list, it might be showing in a theater near you. Go out and support the movie industry right now. It needs your help. The theater industry needs your help. Movies need your help. Keep this art form alive. Keep talking about the Oscars. Keep talking about these great movies, because the discourse is what keeps this industry afloat. And us doing streams like this, sitting here for 2 hours, going over the Oscar nominations, that's what makes this industry work. The fandom keeps it alive. If no one goes and sees movies, there's no more movies. So go see movies, and don't just go see like Captain America, go see all kinds of stuff. See stuff you don't even want to see. See stuff that you don't think you're going to like, open yourself up to a lot of movies that are out of your comfort zone. Stuff like Nickel Boys and Queer could be showing up on your best of the year list if you give it a chance, you know. So give movies a chance and see stuff that is out of your comfort zone. We say Brutalist is the best film of 2024. I haven't seen it yet, but I really am happy to see it doing well. What are you feeling, Ross? Best film of the year?
Well, it's my favorite film of the year, yeah. Yeah, because like basically the tone is if you took Once Upon a Time in America, There Will Be Blood, and then The Godfather Part 2, and you meshed it all into one movie.
Yes, he says supporting indie movies in theaters will allow more talents like David Lynch to be born. Absolutely. You gotta see indie movies. You gotta support indie movies. You can't just see the franchise stuff. You can if you want. You know, I'm not gonna say you can't see what you want to see, you know, but like I feel like as a movie fan, you gotta push yourself. You know, you gotta see stuff that you wouldn't see. Better Man, even, you know, like, oh, I don't know this guy. Why would I see the movie about him? Well, that's why you see the movie. The movie tells you why the guy matters and why his life is something you want to see a movie about, you know? And
then also too, you know, like Conclave, no action at all. And I think actually sometimes it's just as thrilling, if not more so, than the latest Marvel action scene.
Yeah.
And I love the Marvel movies.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones like all this discourse that from most of the Americans I've seen is like where they've all been sort of just like, oh, why should we care about this Better Man movie? We don't know Robbie Williams. It's like, they forget like, overseas we get movies about American presidents like The Apprentice. So I was like, we know who Donald Trump is. Well, that's a bad example. Like, I think the better example is like the Ruth Bader Ginsburg movie that came out a while ago. Well, that and the Mr. Rogers. Like, I had no idea who Mr. Rogers is, but I still watched the movie when I could.
yeah, and I hope the Oscars reinvigorate people like they always do, you know, but I'm happy to see stuff get on here like I'm Still Here that people are now going to go out and see that they wouldn't have seen before. And that's why I think award shows do still matter. You know, like you can argue that, oh, it's just celebrities, you know, celebrating each other. What's the point? And that's the point. You know, it's about keeping the art in the conversation and keeping movies like The Substance in the conversation. And stuff like Anora that would have gone under the radar all year outside of film fans is having huge mainstream success, making a lot of money because of award shows, you know, and that's why I think this stuff is important.
Yeah, I mean,
Yasi chimes in. Love the movies, positive conversation. Thank you guys. It was great to have you, Yasi. You contributed a lot of great stuff, so we hope to see you back. So make sure you come back for some future streams. We'll be on here a lot throughout award season.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones like there's a lot of stuff I'd love to see in the movies, but I don't always have the money to go see them as well.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of stuff that I've still yet to see. Like I'm still yet to see sort of Mufasa, Gladiator 2 and stuff like that. The Brutalist has just come out here, so I might check that out if I can find 3.5 hours to put aside for it.
Yeah.
But
Acres of Movies chimes in, wants our reactions to the Best Actress nomination. That was like an hour ago at this point. We talked about that, so it's been a bit. Fernanda Torres, I think, is definitely a sleeper to win. I think she was a surprise tonight, and I think that surprise is going to give her a lot of momentum and make people go watch that movie. And I still think Demi Moore is probably my lead pick, but Fernanda Torres is probably my number 2 right now. How are you guys feeling? Demi Moore, Fernanda Torres? I'm feeling. Well, it's hard to say. Both of those two, I think, are very big contenders.
Yeah, because like, you know, like in my opinion, Fernanda Torres, right? Her mom should have an Oscar win already too. But because she's in the movie, and I'm Still Here.
Yeah, Akers disagrees and says that she has no chance of winning. With all due respect, I think you're sleeping on her, Akers. I know there's 2 big frontrunners ahead of her, but I do wonder if this nomination plus the picture nomination is going to give her a little bit of a boost, maybe.
Yeah, but the Tristan, like like I actually think though that like Fernando Montenegro's loss is no, it is actually like one of the worst losses ever. Do you know why?
Why?
Gwyneth Paltrow beat her for Shakespeare in Love.
Wow.
I haven't seen the movie that her mother was in, but I'm a Shakespeare in Love defender. I think Gwyneth Paltrow's great in it.
Yeah, I like Shakespeare in Love. I think it's a good movie.
It's good, but but yeah, like I just hope that like this is gonna be is finally like we actually have like all the answers and we can now start debating on what is really gonna win. So yeah.
Yeah, I think
also,
it's giving us a lot of clarity. You know, I feel much more comfortable about the awards season now. Like I said at the beginning, like this is giving us the direction now, and we're getting a better idea of which movies are the contenders and which ones are not. A lot of movies got killed today. RIP to plenty of great movies today, but
yep, and I am happy though because last year the debate about like what is second place last year. Now we actually are debating on which is going to win, and that's more fun.
Yeah.
Acres of Movie says deserving loss to Paltrow. Central Station was a poor movie. I haven't seen Central Station, but I did like Paltrow in Shakespeare in Love. She was good.
But yeah, just going back to Best Director for a second, James Mangold has never been nominated for Best Director.
Nope, that's what I said.
Oh, sorry.
We were questioning during the stream if he had been or not, but I'm happy.
Yeah,
now that I know it's his
remember
first
when I said
nomination,
he
I'm
had.
kind of happy for him.
But also interesting thing is like I don't know when the last time this happened, but all the nominations are first time nominees for Best Director. None of them have been nominated before.
Yassi says, yes, so glad for Ali Abbasi and Apprentice noms. The movie was slipped under the rug for the variety of reasons, anything but its artistic merits. Films are collaborative works of art. Yeah, I think all of the dismissing of The Apprentice over the last year faded, and it obviously showed up where it needed to show up,
Well, funny enough, I think everyone dismissing The Apprentice might have helped because there's like, let's go check out this movie that everyone seems to not want people to know about.
Yeah, I feel like Variety not featuring him on the Actors on Actors like got him this nomination. Like the buzz of people being like, "What the hell? Why are you punishing Sebastian Stan for this role?" I think that might have helped him, and people can rationalize the fact that just because he's playing Trump doesn't mean he's like endorsing Trump and think Trump is a good guy.
No, and like when people watch the movie, it's actually a very good movie too.
Yeah,
it is. It's great. And
I mean, it's
happy
it may not have been Variety that kind of snubbed. I think it was a case of no one wanted to do it with him, and because they were worried they were going to end up talking about Trump. So I think that's the other reason that may have happened. Like it was either Variety or a lot of the actors' agents said, "Well, my person won't do this, and if you put us against Sebastian Stan."
Any other final thoughts from you guys? You've been going for almost 2 hours now. So you guys got any last thoughts you want to bring up? Any categories you want to go back to for a second? Anything like that?
No, I'm just surprised though by like, okay, I knew that I thought that like A Real Pain would have done a little better. Honestly, I really did.
Yeah, I'm bummed it didn't do as well as I thought that it would do, but it did make it in for, I mean, I think Hulkin is still winning, but
yeah.
I mean, I think with A Real Pain, I think that like I've heard a lot about that like over the awards season. I think that's one of those movies that may have just faded, and I think when they extended the nomination period, that may have hurt A Real Pain a little bit because they may have had like an influx of nominations for other things in other categories as well. So.
Acres of Movie is wondering how many will Honora win, how many will Wicked win, how many will Brutalist win. To give the actual numbers is going to come later on. I know sometime in this week we're going to be doing like a actual winners predictions stream. So we'll be going over the actual specifics of who we think is going to win what there. But I think Honora is going to be, unfortunately, maybe only ending up with like one win, because it's getting a lot of nominations. But I think in a lot of those categories, it's kind of like second or third, if not a little bit lower. But
Yeah,
I think Screenplay is probably going to be its win.
yeah. I mean, Wicked is another one that's like that. I mean, I hope it gets something because I do think it could get like costume production design and stuff like that. But
I also think it's possible Wicked gets nothing.
well, yeah, but it's one of those ones like, and I'm not saying that it's not impossible to get nothing, but it's one of those ones like I can see it getting some of those,
Mhm.
at least one of those texts, but it's one of those ones that I don't see getting pitched. But then again, if it sort of pushes ahead of the front runners, then that could change a lot as well. So
I
Yeah, and
think
then like
Brutalist. Wait, go ahead, Russ.
honestly though, I could see Wicked falling into a rare camp where like if they love it, if it wins like I could see either winning, you know, the most awards of the night and winning best picture, or like it'll get nothing. I could see it. I could see that happening. Like either one. Like either like it'll win the most, or no, like it'll win nothing. You know.
yeah,
Yeah, I think Brutalist is going to end up eating a lot of Wicked's lunch here. It's going to get a lot of those like productions wins and stuff like that. I think Brutalist is going to end up winning a lot of awards, especially compared to the other two on this question, because I think Brutalist is going to really capture those tech awards. I think people are enamored with the production of it, and I think over the next couple of months, people are going to be watching it more and more and more. So I think Brutalist is definitely a front runner for a lot of its categories. I think it's going to hit at the right time. So yeah, I think Brutalist. I don't have a number for you, but I think it's going to win a good amount, maybe the most of any movie at the show.
yeah.
Will the AI though hurt it? You think or no?
Well, see, I think I don't know because I think the AI discussion might hurt like production design. Maybe because I know that one of the big things that people were saying about the AI was that they was used to enhance like some of those borders and that, which I don't. Once again, I haven't seen the movie. I don't know, but it's one of those ones when it comes to the acting categories, the brutalist is in. I don't think the AI discussion will hurt those. So it's one of those ones. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's a long time between now and the Oscars. I wonder if people are just going to kind of like forget about the AI conversation. Like, there's always backlash like that, and I think people tend to overweigh it in terms of when they're guessing their wins or their predictions. It doesn't necessarily seem to always manifest itself in the actual. When
Yeah,
it comes down to it, the backlash only really seems to be like an online thing and not necessarily a thing that affects like everyone, because a lot of these voters are not even going to be on social media enough to see all of this outcry.
I mean, it's like yeah, no, I get what you're saying, but it's one of those ones like because like we don't know discussions that are happening in the academy either. So
Mhm.
some people may have been talking about it already, and that's how it came to public. But as
Yeah,
I
and
said,
I
I don't think
think
it's going to hurt it too much if it hurts it at all. So
I think the one thing that it's hard to say because AI is certainly a huge, important topic, and people talk about it a lot right now, and especially in Hollywood. And these are going to be people voting who are like actors and people who may be having their jobs replaced sooner than later by AI. And I wonder if the fear around AI might just be enough. But I also am starting to see Hollywood just kind of like embracing AI tools. It'd be different if it was like an entirely AI generated character or something, or like
yeah,
a huge element of the movie is AI. But when it's a tool, like, oh, we use it to enhance his accent a little bit, like I think that's just going to be the norm after a little while. And I think
yeah,
a lot of the backlash to AI in film is similar to the backlash to like digital film and CGI and that kind of stuff. People push back on it, but then eventually it just kind of becomes a norm. And I don't know if I like that or I'm not trying to morally endorse it, but I think that's just kind of how it's going to be. When studios see that it's cost efficient to use AI, they're just going to start using it. Yeah, AI is text 1-4 says AI is very sensitive in Hollywood. It caused a whole strike. Don't downplay it. Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I think we can't just dismiss the emotional argument around AI and the fact that people are very, very, very passionate on the issue right now. And yeah, it was maybe the single biggest issue. And I would say it is definitively the single biggest issue in the strike was around AI on the writing side and the acting side. So
Yeah.
it's a big
Well, I
issue.
mean-
And I think what happens around the conversation over the next 2 months is going to be pivotal to how Hollywood handles AI in the future.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, like you guys think though? Do you guys think that Nosferatu actually has a chance in makeup? Because I kind of do a bit.
I think it has a chance. I think what might hold it back is the fact that like it's so shrouded in darkness the whole time that you don't really get a great look at the makeup until like the last scene. So I
Yeah.
wonder if that might hurt it a little bit.
well, I mean, it's one. The other thing I was going to bring up is like one of my friends, who you may have met at one point, Dan Skip Allen. He's kind of one of the stats like every year the winner of best makeup is always tied with one of the acting categories.
Mhm.
The only one this year that it could do is if Demi Moore wins Best Actress, then the substance is most likely getting makeup. But it's one of those ones like whether or not that works out this time, but who knows? But he's kind of crunched numbers out, and a lot of the times, like because Brendan Fraser got Best Actor for The Whale, and then that also won Best Makeup that year as well.
We have a question here regarding AI. Is the use of AI the reason some Best Picture nominees have producers to be determined? And I don't think
No.
that was a factor in it. No. The
No,
producers
because like,
is a
like
very complicated legal question, and sometimes it takes them a little while to work it out.
because like like I've seen it, like I've been watching the Oscars since like '96 and the announcement since like 2000, and then like you're like I've seen it at least 4 to 5 times when they'll say like producers to be determined.
Yeah. I think in some cases, like, there's probably so many producers and they can only credit X amount when it comes to the awards. So it's probably a case of them deciding on who is the most
Mhm.
important producers that we should put on here.
Acres of Movies says it was nice of us to say to watch independent and non-commercial films. He suggests abiding your own suggestion and going back and seeing great independent movies from the 90s that were nominated, like Secrets and Lies. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Do not just watch contemporary stuff. You got to go back and watch 100 years of history. There's a lot of movies that are out there. Don't just watch stuff that like is being told for you to watch right now. Don't always buy into like that FOMO of you got to watch what's coming out right now. You got to watch the newest thing right now. There's a lot of movies to watch, and every single year, the movies that I like the most are movies that like didn't come out that year, So don't just stick to the modern stuff. And yeah, we talked about Mike Lee. He has decades of great screenplays to go watch. You can go back through his history.
Naked. Yep.
Yeah,
yep.
Naked
Go
is so
watch
good.
Naked.
Don't be a prisoner to the moment and only see current independent and non-commercial movies. 90s are filled with movies that make modern independent films seem less powerful. The movement started then. Yeah, I agree with you. Don't be stuck in that manipulated sense of FOMO. Like the studios want you to think that you have to watch every new movie right now because they want to make your money, and you don't have to watch new movies. You don't have to watch any new movies. Like you can watch all old movies if you want to. Just watch movies, keep movies alive, keep them in your brain, talk about them, show them to your friends, old or new, keep watching them. Any other thoughts, guys, or do you want to wrap this thing up?
I want to wrap this thing up. I'll go back to bed.
Yeah, I got to get some sleep.
It's
It's great to
I got up
It's
at 5 a.m.
9 o'clock. It must be 9:30 here, and I've been up like all day. So
Yeah.
always fun to discuss Oscars. I agree with you guys. We're going to be discussing the Oscars a lot over the next couple of months. Later today, if we can wake up, we're going to be doing our worst of the year for last year list. So we're going to follow up the conversation of the awards winners here with some of the stinkers. And there's a lot of stinkers last year, so it'll be fun to go through some of our more hot opinions. I feel like the worst of the year brings out some of the claws. People get really mad when you talk about like movies you hate. You know, people get very passionate when you hate a movie. So check out that later today. We're also going to be doing reviews of Severance. If you want to switch over to a TV coverage, we'll be doing Severance starting Monday. Every episode we're going to be reviewing the next morning. So check out Severance coverage. Me and Wolf just reviewed The Wolf Man. So if you want to check out some 2025 movies, not one I recommend, but you can watch our review more so than the movie. I thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this viewer today. We had a great time going over these nominations. I really love some of the surprises here. It was a great time. We had some great comments. So I hope to see you guys in the future for some future episodes. We're going to be doing winner predictions, all kinds of stuff throughout the next couple of months leading up to the Oscars. So if you like awards coverage, you like movie reviews, come here, give us a like, give us a subscription, and we'll be live a lot throughout the next couple of weeks. Malcolm, you are our guest today. Thank you for coming on. We had a great time with you. Where can people find you online?
You can find me on Tapefree Productions every Sunday as I host a show called Rankum. Next week is going to be top 12 non-horror characters we want to see made into horror movies in honor of Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. And you can find me on my own personal channel, Malcolm's Middle-earth Media, where I host a Western show called Spear from the Past.
Me and Ross are on this channel all the time. So if you guys want to follow us, the best way to do it is to do it here. I guess we're going to be doing underrated movies of the year, best of the year, of course. So if you want to get our takes on all of these movies in 2024 and beyond, follow us here. Ross, is there anywhere else you want to plug for yourself? Any social media apps you want to follow you on? Anything like that?
Just Letterboxd for Ross BR, and then you can find me on Facebook. You know, anything. Yeah, I'm still on here a lot all the time now. So.
Yeah, I'm also on Letterboxd at The Worst Tristan. Mega Movie Z is also on Letterboxd, I believe. You can check out Wolf. I think he has some social media links in the description. He had to leave us for work, but we kept it going in his stead. So hopefully he is happy with our performance here. Thank you, Wolf, for letting us host this on your channel. And thank you guys for watching. I had a great time with all you guys. So hopefully you can come back for some future videos. Because like I said, it's a stacked next couple of months. It's not slowing down. We got the nominations, but now we have so much to talk about regarding the nominations. And on top of that, 2025 movies to review. You know, all kinds of new stuff is coming out. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Hope you guys will come back later today for our worst of the year. And until then, keep watching movies.